Okay, so they will do a doctor ratio build guide. I've been streaming like 15 hours for the past week, just playing FF14 and Monster Hunter, so I'm kind of low energy and tired right now. But hello, it's time to record the doctor ratio guide. We all got this character for free, and I honestly don't think we look that familiar, okay? His tone of purple is different than my purple, okay? Maybe it looks similar to the chibi purple, but no, it's not close. Yeah. We're not the same person, Dad. Don't worry about it. I would never plug myself in the game for no reason. Damn, time to sue MiHoYo, because I got this model for like 3 years. I mean, honestly, it doesn't even look the same, okay? We don't even have the same personality. It's different. I'm more relaxing, you know? It's fine. All right, so doctor ratio guy. Let's go for traces first. I think traces is easier. Okay, let's go for passive trace. He's one of the, I would like to say, one of the character that gets 8 relic slot instead of 6. This passive, whenever Dr. Ratio uses skill, for every debuff on the target, he gets 2.5 crit rate and 5 crit damage, stacking up 6 times, right? So in total, that is 15 crit rate and 30 crit damage, right? Wait, am I crazy? Is my math thing? Yeah, it's fine. I am mathing. So it's 15 crit rate and 30 crit damage, right? On top of that, he also gets 12% crit rate from here, right? Doctor Ratio, in total, he gets 27% crit rate, 30 crit damage, and 28% attack. That's like 2.5 relic slot, like main stat-wise. That's like a fuck ton of free stat, right? I think he kind of needs it. I'll be honest, he kind of needs more. Let's go do the normal code video segment where I talk about shit not related to the video, okay? Right. So, erudition character has their own content now, right? And destruction character is generally better for most content, yeah? So pure fiction is the content for erudition character, right? And usually Forgotten Halls and Memory of Chaos is where you use your destruction character, right? There's no real content for hunt characters. Hunt characters are designed to hit one enemy at a time, generally, right? They do their job well if they can burst enemy down. However, this is the weird thing, and okay, we're gonna sweat a little bit, right? Let's talk about breaks, okay? An AoE character like destruction character can tag 3 enemies at the same time, right? For erudition, you can tag 5 and you can break into 5, right? My issue is that, and my idea of buffing hunt character is this. Make it so that hunt character breaks single target twice as fast as any other role. Because right now, the fact that hunt character breaks the same or slower than destruction character is fucking horrendous. Their job is to kill bosses. Make them break the fucking shield bar faster. Just make it so that they can be better at actually applying pressure to single target, right? Because right now, their job is, oh, I do big numbers, but to one guy, right? If their role is just numbers alone, destruction character will slowly just steal their job, right? Realistically, that's what I want. I want them to break more. All right, no more sighting. Let's go back, right? The Doctor Ratio gets 27 crit rate, 30 crit damage, and 28% attack for free. That's a fuck ton of free stat. He does get some defense because every hunt character gets a defensive node. Otherwise, they get blown up, right? Hunt character also has like 75 aggro scores to the lowest in the game. But, you know, your hunt character is probably going to get hit anyway. So that doesn't matter, right? The other trace of Doctor Ratio is that whenever he uses a skill, there's a chance that he apply effect resistance down by 10% for 2 turns. Ignore the shit. You're not really going to be building effect hit rate on Doctor Ratio. Ideally, you want your teammates to do the effect hit rate instead, right? This is there. It's nice if you land it. That's another debuff. That's okay. The reason why is for this passive, right? When Doctor Ratio hits a target with 3 or more debuff, he gets, I think, 10% more damage every debuff on the enemy, up to 5, right? So up to 50%. Ideally, you want to run Doctor Ratio on a team with 3 debuffer, and we'll get to that, yeah? So his talent. Whenever Doctor Ratio uses his skill, or when an ally hits an enemy that's affected by his ultimate, he'll do a follow-up attack, right? His follow-up attack is where his damage is, right? It's where the big hit is, right? Because his E damage ratio at level 10, this shit is like 150. Like, bro, I don't know why. At max talent level, he does have like a 400% damage hit if you count his skill and his talent, right? His talent has a 40% chance to trigger when you use your skill and a 100% chance to trigger on your ult, right? Every debuff that you have on the enemy gives you a 20% chance more, right? So with 3 debuff is where you want, yeah? With 3 debuff, you get 30% more damage bonus and you guarantee your follow-up attack, right? Doctor Ratio skill itself does really low damage. This shit at level 10 is like 150% damage, and his follow-up is like, was it 280 or something? On average, if you always land skill into a follow-up, then you get like a 400 ratio damage every turn, which is really high. However, this is the thing, right? I still think that's not enough. It's like 150 on a single target is like, well, what's a good example? Let's bring the most recent one. Destruction, right? Destruction kind of does blast quite well as well. Hook, let's not count Hook. Hook is dumb, right? Like fucking 210. It's whatever, right? Hook is kind of like unfair scaling. Hook can go up to like 580 damage or something. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I think it wouldn't be bad if they made Hunt characters stand out more from the Destruction character, right? If you have both talent level 10 and Doctor Ratio, I think it's around like a 400 or higher than 400 if skill and ult always lands, right? The main gameplay at Doctor Ratio is quite easy. You just maintain 3 debuff on the enemy so that whenever you press your skill, your follow-up triggers, yeah? And then when you ult, then you have 2 free follow-up when your ally attacks the person that you ult, right? It's free ulting. With 0 energy recharge, you kind of get your ult back once every 4 turn. If you run an ER rope, then you can get your ult back every 3 turn without requiring any kill or getting hit. So if you want to run ER rope, sure, but I feel like you don't need it that way. I guess the uptime on your follow-up is quite good. We'll see, right? Because right now I don't have an ER rope on Doctor Ratio because I ran out of ER ropes. At max talent level, it's 150 plus 270, so it's like 420 damage ratio. I need to say something other than ratio. Damage percentage. So it's less confusing. If your ult kills a target, you will lose the debuff. That is true. When Doctor Ratio ults something, you put a debuff on them, but if you kill the person with the ult, then your ult disappears. Yeah, it's kind of tedious. Sure, I guess. But like, you're mainly hitting bosses anyway. That's your job, right? He's not complicated, right? Legit, his gameplay is put 3 debuffs, spam E. He just has a lot of free stat. He's a free character. I like that he's been given for free because he's a very simple character to build, right? He's a very simple imaginary character to play because I swear to God, this character should not be given for free. Where is it? This. Ain't nobody can build this character as a new player. If you are a new player, you can't build a Yukong. It won't work. Every video, there's always a Yukong session. There's not a Yukong session on all my video, okay? Relax. For trace priority, I will prioritize talent and then skill and ult. I think that's pretty simple. You can ignore basic attack. You don't really do that unless you want to sap people to book, sure, right? Talent, skill, and then ult, spam your E, and that's it. That's your gameplay. That's literally it. For team comp, which character would you run 3D buff on? I think like the thing everyone prioritizes is probably Silverwolf, right? Silverwolf has 3D buff on her talent. Whenever she does damage, she applies one of the debuff, right? You either use basic attack, skill, or ult. You can apply one of these 3 debuff. Your ult is 1 debuff, and your E is also 1 debuff, right? The resistance down shit. It works. It's probably really good for damage for screenshot. Is it super good for skill point efficiency? That depends, right? Doctor Ratio himself can apply 1 consistently. Not quite. No, unless you build effect hit rate on him. That shit is like 100% rate. You want 40 hit rate if you want to like consistently do it, but I don't think people build hit rate on him. The other option would be Pella. Pella with the Pearls of Sweat Light Cone. Whenever you attack an enemy, you apply a defense down for 1 turn, right? And then your E4 is 1 debuff. Obviously, you're not going to use ice resistance down. And your ult is 1 debuff. So you can get 3 debuff from Pella, right? That's fine as well. Pella also increase your effect hit rate by 10%. So there's that. So if you want Doctor Ratio to more consistently apply the debuff, sure, right? What's the other option? There's also Weld. I put Weld and Yukong on the same section where you better have some good fucking gear if you want to run these characters. Because you either ignore a part of their kit and just run full debuff, or you try to make them do everything, right? And I don't want to run like multiple damage over time character with Doctor Ratio because I still want to run a Harmony character, right? With Doctor Ratio, for example, yeah? I've been talking about this dream since the last patch, but Gunnafen, E1 specifically, is very nice, right? E1 Gunnafen can apply 3 debuff debuff on one turn, right? TLDR, Gunafen amplifies your damage about like 8% or something less than Pella. I don't have the exact number at this point. That test was done so far long ago. Also, it's not like super consistent test, right? Because defense down versus damage amp, right? With Goon, you have one debuff, which is your burn on your skill. One debuff, which is the amplifying damage that enemy take from all sources. This shit is really good. And when it stack up to 3, obviously, if you want to, just start combat with your technique and you have all 3, right? There's 2 debuff, and third debuff is E1. Reduce resistance of all enemy by 10%. This is effect resistance, not damage resistance, right? So you just press E once on the first turn and the enemy has 3 debuff right away, right? On 3 targets, yeah? It's pretty easy to maintain, I would say. For Gunafen, I like to just run this just for some bonus damage and effect hit rate, yeah? Gunafen doesn't really do a lot of damage at like 3k attack. She does like 10k, 11k dot. It's kind of balanced around her Flame Kiss stack, sure. It goes up to 13, 14k maybe, but her damage isn't something to write home about. She's mainly there to like AoE break and apply the Flame Kiss, right? So if you want to run Dr. Ratio plus Gunafen, that's also a consistent choice for AoE clear. And the last option is Topaz, right? For Topaz, E1, S1 Topaz is 3 debuff, unremovable, doesn't care about enemy resistance, right? That would be a debuff here that increases damage taken for follow-up attack, a debuff here that makes enemy take more crit damage, and a debuff here that also makes enemy takes more crit damage, right? So that's 3 debuff. Unremovable, doesn't care about effect resistance, it just sticks there, right? So the choices are Topaz, Silver Wolf, Pella, Gunafen, Wealth is the consistent choice for 3 debuff, right? Rune Mei, only Rune Mei Oath, when you see the flower above the enemy is 1 debuff, sure. Once again, right? I don't want to run like Kafka plus a debuffer plus Dr. Ratio because I still think that he wants to have a Harmony character with him or like a Pella, right? You know, if you use this, then sure, that's a Harmony character. Honestly, I kind of want to give like him and Gui a run, but I don't have talent level yet, right? I didn't pre-farm shit. Lycone choices is pretty easy, right? Hunt and Destruction character have very, very bad free light cone, usually. For Hunt, you do have this light cone, right? This is the premier free option, right? 16 crit rate, up to 32 if enemy is below half health. Then you get 40% attack if you get a kill, right? That's fine. Technically, he can use Topaz light cone and his own light cone, or Sleep Like the Dead just for his stat stick. 3 of these light cone, Dr. Ratio can use for stat stick. Topaz light cone is basically 1 debuff and infinite uptime. So Topaz light cone gives you 18 crit rate, 30% damage on follow-up attack, and up to 24% more critical damage, right? Dr. Ratio light cone gives you 20 crit damage plus 24, so 44 crit damage, 36 damage bonus, and 24% defense ignore on your follow-up attack after you ult, right? The uptime is basically 50% unless you run ER, then it's 66%, right? Because if you run ER on Dr. Ratio, you get a 3-turn ult instead of 4. You can run that if you have like a very good attack buffer, sure, but I would just run attack or for now. Why is Cold naked? That is not me! Right, so his light cone is ideally his best one, but if you don't have it, Topaz light cone or the free light cone works fine, right? For Forza light cone, I'll be honest, swordplay, I don't think swordplay is good for Dr. Ratio because he hit once. He applies 1 damage number. Unlike Sealy, she get like 3 stacks, right? Every time she presses her E, but Dr. Ratio gets 2, right? If you aim to throw and the enemy dies, then it's kind of meaningless, right? I kind of want like subscribe for more, only increase the damage of your basic attack and skill, but that's not really good. I think for the 4-star option, your only option is only the Silence Remain, right? This is your only option. It increases your attack, and if enemy is less than 2, then you get 24 crit rate. I think this is an okay option. It's pretty reliable as well. The uptime for boss fights, it's not too bad. Obviously, boss spawns random ads, right? I honestly still think that 4-star for Hunt still needs work. Maybe in patch 2.0, we'll have a funny 4-star Hunt light cone, but for now, Herta Store is probably your best free-to-play option, right? Leakers. I'm molding because Harmony gets everything. Harmony and Abundance have like really good shit. Team for Dr. Ratio, if you want like an optimized team, it's probably that, right? Unless you're getting one shot and you change the healer, but that's like a broken ass team that doesn't use skill points, right? Just these two just do damage. Other than that, I think something like this is fine. Is this free-to-play-ish team? This is not really free-to-play-ish, right? But Gunafen is 3 to 4 debuff. Dr. Ratio is 1 to 2 debuff, right? Does this ult count as a debuff? Probably does. Links for some healing and cleansing. Tingyun to ult Dr. Ratio so he gets his ult more, right? Is Battle Pass Cyclone bad for Hunt? No, it's not. It's just free crit rate. It's not that bad. It's okay. You don't have Gunafen? Is there any free-to-play option to apply 3 debuff? Pella was free, but temporarily, right? But you need Pella Pella with the Pearls of Sweat Light Cone though. And E4. You need E4 Pella and Pearls of Sweat Light Cone. That doesn't work. You only need E1 Gunafen. Trend on Preservation? Bro, do you want to run like Marsh? Or like Japard or Fire main character on the Trend Light Cone? I guess if you run this on Fire MC, that's 2 debuff, right? 1 burn plus 1 taunt. On his trial, they use Japard with Trend Light Cone. That is you would not run this. In practical combat, you would not fucking run this. Like, why would you run this on top of shit that keeps your team alive? You literally have, like, the most broken-ass shit 4-star light cone for preservation character, which is, like, day 1 plus Lando, right? And even Pella has this light cone on S5. Bro, there's S1 on this and S5 on this on the trial. Jesus Christ. Bro, just put a Gunafen in here. Why does Dr. Ratio and this guy looks like sisters? Wait a second. No, it doesn't look the same. It's not the same. Shit is different still. He was trying to distract us. What do you mean? I'm not distracting shit. This Dr. Ratio has ER, and if you have 19 ER and Ratio, you can do a 3-turn ult. You get like 143 energy, right? You can, would you? I mean, like, if you have enough stats, yeah, sure. He also has 30 effect hit rate. What the fuck? 115 speed is kind of OM, right? It's fine. So Eidolon 1 gives him 4 extra stacks of his passive. So instead of 15 crit rate, 30 crit damage, it's like 25 crit rate, 50 crit damage. Yeah, that's a fuck ton of stats. Obviously, if you want to run that, sure. E1 is quite reliable as usual. E2 is just a bonus damage, 20% per hit. E4 is kind of hilarious because his follow-up attack gives him 5 energy, right? If you have E4, then his follow-up attack gives you 20 energy. You get like 50 energy per throw. You can technically get a 2-turn ult with Dr. Ratio with E4. E4 is when shits get hilarious. E4 is fair and balanced. Like his follow-up gives you 5 energy. With E4 it gives you 20. If you're on ER rope, you literally have an ult every 2 turns. Skill follow-up, ult, skill follow-up, ult. You can even get a 1-turn if you ult, then E skill, then an ally attack, then you get a kill or something, right? And E6 is your follow-up can trigger 1 more time on your ult, which is haha, right? And follow-up damage is more. I wouldn't really go for Eidolon. E1 on Dr. Ratio is fine if you want the extra crit rate, crit damage. Next, let's go for the XDD one. So, my current Dr. Ratio build is hilariously bad because I have very low crit rate. Dr. Ratio, his skill, talent, and ult has 1 damage number. He hits once. So you kind of want 80% crit rate or higher because missing crit on a character that attack once feels a lot worse, right? With my trace, then this will give me 15 crit rate, 30 crit damage, and Light Cone gives you 24 more crit damage, right? So I'll have like 70 crit rate and like 243 critical damage, right? I can honestly drop the crit damage down by a lot just for more crit rate. The reason why my build is like this is because I am running some XDD. Basically, the build is normal, but I only have 2 piece set, which is 2 follow-up and 2 regen. The set bonus is really not optimal. The only XDD thing is I have attack boots. So I've been balancing my stat around the attack boots, which kind of makes me sack a lot of stats in order to get 135 speed on attack boots. So here are the pieces you wanted. Speed, crit rate, crit damage, speed, crit rate, crit damage, speed, crit rate, attack boots, speed, crit rate, crit damage, and speed, crit damage on attack, right? So it's crit damage, attack, imaginary attack is what I'm building right now. Why not regen? I mean, regen would be funny, but my only regen piece is on someone else, right? Swap with Topus body piece? Yeah, but I don't want to. That shit is for Topus. So he doesn't deserve it. Not yet. Why Vaughn though? The only reason why I'm running Vaughn is this piece rolled really good. Honestly, my Topus still needs work as well. Unrelated build. Woo! That's my Topus. He gets like, what, 50 crit damage anyways? Doesn't really matter. Same thing every day. He doesn't even play Topus. I will play Topus. I will. You lose too much attack if you swap the speed boots, right? Yeah, you lose so much attack. Also, now he's 167 speed, so... Now he's a little bit too fast. Let's go back to attack boots. Attack boots is all I need. Attack boots is all I need. End the video. Oh shit. Hello, Mr. Editor. Why does the XDD editor emote has a katana? Because I cut. Oh, haha. Okay, wow. All right. Anyways, Mr. Editor is molding because I've been yapping more than the video requires. So goodbye, YouTube.